Going ham at 9 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get this bad boy rolling. Welcome in. The Rob Brown Show is on the radio. This is the Fan Upstate, 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, all around the world on the Odyssey app, at thefanupstate.com, and of course on the stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate. You can also hit us at YouTube by searching The Rob Brown Show. Like and subscribe to that channel. And you can watch all 3 hours behind the scenes, which ordinarily is just high energy and intense as it gets. How you feeling over there, fella?
I just want to say that V-neck was a bold choice.
Listen, it's hot outside. I went with...
Does that give you enough ventilation? Just a little bit more ventilation, does it? I went
with thinnest t-shirt that a man of my physique can get away with.
You want to go shirtless in here? Go ahead. It's not like management's going to say anything. Go for it.
No, they would say something. They would say, promise you nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So we went, we did. I did go V-neck today. It's an unusual choice for me.
Yeah, I don't recall ever seeing the V-neck, and it's interesting. It really is. I never saw you as a V-neck kind of guy until now. I mean, it works.
I take pride in that. For the record, I am not V-neck guy, and it's not. I don't have anything against V-neck guy until you get to the point that the V is like down at nipple level. That's where it's like, all right, bro. We get it. Like, all right, cool.
See, I have old school mentality because I'm old, and V-neck to me means preppy. And that's nothing wrong with that. If you want to be a preppy, go right ahead.
I mean, I'm a 1%er. What do you want?
You are, but you can be a 1%er and not a preppy. I think 1%ers could look down on preppies because preppies are wannabes. 1%ers are already there.
Listen, like I said, it's hot outside. It just is what it is. It's hot outside.
Going to be 100 today.
It's going to stay hot outside. And this may shock some of you. The rest of you are in the club, so you get it. Again, men of my physique don't fit in well with what's happening with the climate this week. All right? 100+ degrees turns me into just a little fat roll outside.
I'm curious about something since you spend the majority of your life in Florida. They'd say that humidity is different here than there. And is that true for you?
A little bit. But you also got to keep in mind, like, I lived 100 feet from the beach, right? I lived 100 feet from the beach and exactly at sea level. You guys aren't much above sea level, but although it does look like it's going to rain later or that it's threatening. So that might change the game a little bit.
It's just teasing.
Yeah. It's a little more humid in Florida, but like not exponential. Not so exponential that, you go outside and it's a different feel. I used to go to, because I'm a 1%er, my dad used to take me to Colorado on vacation, right? I know. We would wear our ascots and drive our Bentleys to Colorado.
Is that where you met Muffy?
Sarah.
Okay.
And Beef.
Well, Sarah and Beef, that's a totally different thing. I'm thinking Muffy and Bunny and, all the...
Candy.
Yeah.
Lola and the rest.
All the girls who like to go down the hill, so to
Ski
speak.
bunnies, my guys.
Yeah,
Ski
there we
bunnies. We used to go out there, and it is dramatically different feeling there. It'd be 90 in the top of the Colorado mountains, and it would feel like 72 here, and vice versa. It'd be 28 degrees there, and it'd feel like 55 here. Here, man, it just gets muggy, and it sticks to you. But we only got like 3 more days of this heat wave. And then we're over it. Then we're good. Then we're back to normal, quote unquote.
Were you going like Martha and the Vandells or something like that? Okay, all right.
All right, we got a lot of stuff to get to on today's show. Keegan says, I lived 100 feet from the beach, 1%er for sure. Says it is raining in Simpsonville.
You didn't. Well, if you were watching the stream, which you are, Keegan, because you're on YouTube, you saw the look on his face when he said it. That just, I mean, there is a look. I'm 100 feet from the beach. Yeah, you can make fun of me, but everyone saw that look.
Yeah, none of my teachers threw desk at me though, Lonzo.
It's true. It hardens you. It makes you ready for stuff.
Not me. I'm SAWFT soft. It is what it is.
Well, you are wearing a V-neck.
Damn. All right. Lonzo came for blood today. All right. I got it. Lonzo's like, I don't feel great. I'm taking you all down with me. That's fine. That's fine. It's going to be a day. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot to get into on the broadcast today. Team USA Soccer has one last tune-up outside of a couple of September friendlies against European squads to get themselves ready for November's World Cup. I want to talk a little bit about A, what I expect to see this evening, and B, what the plan I think should be for Team US Soccer moving towards the World Cup. We're going to break that down later on in the show. An interesting question. After a relief pitcher entered the game a few days ago, I think 2 days ago, the Cubs decided to send first baseman Frank Schwindel out to the hill for mop-up duty. Again, Schwindel, not a pitcher, a first baseman. The Yankees were ahead 13 runs by the time that Schwindel got onto the bump. Schwindel threw a pitch to Yankees catcher Kyle Higashioka that was sent into low Earth orbit on a moon blast. The pitch was the slowest pitch ever hit for a home run in Major League Baseball. It clocked in about 35 miles per hour. Now,
why do they keep track of the slowest pitch hit for a home?
I think at this point you can just plug everything into a computer and it will give you every possible record.
Oh no, we know who's doing that.
Did you know this is the slowest pitch ever hit for a home run?
Stat guy's back, ladies and gentlemen. Old baseball stat guy is back. Kyle Higashioka hit a 35. And to give you a comparison, last year, your boy threw out a first pitch for the then Spartanburgers baseball team.
It was an amazing pitch, by the way.
It was piped.
It was pretty good. It was.
Dead center. Catcher did not have to move the leather to snag it. And they radar gunned me. I don't know if you remember this, Lonzo, but they radar gunned me. They checked me in at a blazing, mind-numbing 52 miles per hour on the gun. Now, granted, I pulled something off of it, all right? I didn't give it everything I had because bringing more heat would have meant a little bit of a loss of control. I could have topped 62.
Plus, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I'm not putting everything in on it in case they need me later.
Right.
Yeah,
I wanted to save a little bit in the tank in case they needed some relief work. A mind-numbing 52 miles an hour blazing across the dish. And when it did, it outpaced the 35-mile-an-hour heater that was thrown by Frank Schwindel. So then some folks on Twitter started asking a question that I want to get into later on in the show. As we have seen, no shortage of position players pitching, the old PPP, should Major League Baseball institute a rule that allows a Major League Baseball team to quit a game? I'm out. We're done. We're down 13. It's the seventh inning. We're not touching the ball. It's 13-0. We're not going to throw any more of our pitchers onto the hill and ruin the rest of their week. Should the Cubbies have been allowed to just say, nope, I'm out. We're done. We're going home. Congratulations, Yanks. You win. We're out. We're going to talk about that and give a couple of answers later on in the show. Speaking of baseball, the Bravos win number a dozen last night. Get their 12th win over the DC Nationals, but it came at a cost. Ozzie Albies, the second baseman for the Bravos, fractured his foot by swinging the baseball bat. He did not get hit. No contact. This was not on the base path. He swung at an outside pitch. He got contact on it As he turned to run to first base, he just went down. Could not even get there. Brought him to the dugout. He was being examined on the dugout. They said, we got to get you to the locker room. And Ozzy had to 1 foot hop down the dugout to get to the tunnel, needed help to get up and down the stairs that led out of the dugout into the locker room for further medical evaluation. The Braves would announce about 25 minutes later that he has a fractured left foot. Ozzy Albies has been playing really good baseball, has been an integral part of the Braves lineup, and they will be without him for some time now. Orlando Arcia came in and provided actually pretty good defensive work in replacement of Ozzy Albies, but certainly he is no Wizard of Ozzy. That's a big blow for Atlanta.
So the next time you sneeze and accidentally throw your back out, don't feel so bad about it.
Right?
He just swung the bat and broke his foot.
Yup. I feel my guy swung a bat. That was it. Nothing dramatic. Like initially when he went down, I'm like, oh, that ball must have come off the bat and hit him on the foot. We've seen that before.
Which foot was it? Was it a pivot
his
foot?
left foot. And he's a lefty, so it was his back foot.
Oh, see, I could get the front foot because you're shifting your weight onto it, but the back foot, that's a little weird.
Let me make sure I'm not telling you a lie here. But he left the game after it was just a swing, man. It was just a swing. Like he just swung the bat. It was bad. So like I said, when it happened, and I saw Ozzy go down, my initial thought, let's see, it was his it was his left foot. So it was his back foot. He turns. He's a right-handed batter.
Well, you're getting some torque on both feet when you're doing that.
Oh, you
I would
100% are.
thought it would be more on your front foot than your back foot.
No,
but-
apparently I don't know how it was, but he gets the clip on the back foot, and he is out for some time. We'll wait for an injury report from the Braves with an ETA on a return. I don't know how that's going. So we'll talk about that. We mentioned it earlier in the week, but I did not get a chance to get to it yet, obviously, with the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup Finals. Oh, and by the way, coming up in an hour and 20-ish minutes, we're going to be joined by Kyle Sullivan of the Locked On Podcast Network. Kyle is an NHL bro. Lord Stanley's Cup Finals begin tomorrow. We've got the Avalanche and the Lightning going up for the Stanley Cup. We're going to get a full breakdown with Kyle Sullivan coming up in the back half of the next hour. If you are hockey bro, you're going to want to stick around for that. Colorado, minus 160 favorite on the money line in game number 1 tomorrow. They host. So we're going to talk about that. Tampa, of course, going for consecutive Stanley Cup number 3, which has not been done since the early 1980s. We'll break that down with Kyle Sullivan at 10:30. Looking forward to that. Zion Williamson has said that he wants to stay a New Orleans Pelican. And he has got some comments from Pelicans front office folk that looks like they're willing to allow him to make that happen if he so chooses. We'll break that down. And, of course, when we come back here in just a minute, game number 5 goes the way of the Golden State Warriors, despite Steph Curry, after 133 of 133 playoff games, sinking a 3, he was unable to do so last night. 0 for 9 from behind the arc. Yet the Dubs still got the dub over the Celtics. How? I will tell you. We will break that game down when we come back here in a minute. My name is Rob Brown. The great one, Lonzo, is at the helm today. Your phone calls are welcome. 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FANFONE, 844-326-3663. The Preferred Home Services text line is open for you as well at 71307, 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. We'll read them on the air. We are back after this on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate. All right, Skrilla, welcome in, my guy. 100 degrees on Tuesday. Working outside. Ugh. Nope, I would die. I think I'd call in dead. I'm out. Keegan says, so what you're saying is you throw faster than an MLB pitcher. No, I do throw faster than an MLB first baseman, though.
Yeah,
That is statistically true now.
yeah, he absolutely was saying that. At that moment, when he threw that pitch, he was an MLB pitcher.
Oh, 52? 52 would have qualified
No,
me to go check in for some. We're down 13 runs.
The guy who just threw the slowest pitch, he was, even though he may be a first baseman, at that moment he was a pitcher, which makes you faster than him.
You know what he was trying to do? You remember that movie Rookie of the Year?
Yes.
Remember at the end when his arm gets hurt and he doesn't have his heat anymore, the kid? And so mom convinces him to toss it underhand by throwing him a bottle of suntan lotion. That's what that guy was trying to do. He's like, this guy hasn't seen a 35-mile-an-hour pitch since third grade. There's no way he's going to hit this. Are you ready to sell your home, but you're worried about what's next? You know, you sell your house and then you need to buy. Mike, welcome in, brother. Good to have you. Appreciate you guys as always. Brother. Take my hand.
I'd apologize for my snark, but that would be, it wouldn't be me. So, you know, disingenuous. That was the word I was thinking of, but it was really big. So, you know. So I didn't sleep much. Hopefully, I don't have to like operate heavy machinery or anything. That would be bad. That's the thing, Keegan. This rain is going to be nothing but a tease, just enough to make things nasty.
I feel like it'll rain just long enough to drag the humidity up to about 1,000%, and then it'll stop raining. Not enough to go outside and cool off in it.
And warm rain's kind of annoying.
Warm rain.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Whether it's a bad kick, nagging back pain, or a hip that has you hobbling, nothing matters more than getting you back to feeling your best. As South Carolina's most preferred orthopedic provider and official team doctors for the Gamecocks and Tigers, Prisma Health provides all the care you need.
So to move from the bed to the what we've always used as the sick bed, which is the chaise lounger, because it's upright. And as I sat there at 3:30, I thought maybe I should just play a game because it just happens to be in the game room. I didn't do it though because I'd have just stayed awake all night.
Yeah.
But I got a better shot falling asleep playing a game than I do sitting there nothing, wishing I was asleep.
If I have not started playing by 10 o'clock, I can't turn on the Xbox because if I start after 10, I'm up till 3.
Well, I know the games that I can't play because my adrenaline gets going so much and I'm done. And there are other ones that are a little more relaxing. Or a game that you played, so I'm pretty sure I just saw lightning. Could have been a reflection off of a windshield, but I'm pretty sure it was lightning. There's games that you've been playing for like 10 years. You put them in, it's like a comfort movie. It's a comfort game, and then suddenly you're out. Probably what I'll do tonight. Sleep. Or I'll take medication, which I can't do at work. Or I'd be underneath the console asleep right now. There's so much yellow. It's weird. So we have major changes on our operating system, and there are colors involved with certain kind of cart numbers. Now the carts have changed, and there's a whole lot of colors that we don't normally see, and I keep panicking, thinking there's something wrong. I don't know. That sounds kind of nasty, Josh, but I'll check it out. Wet Leg Chase Lounge. Have you heard of that song, Rob?
I can't say that I have.
Sounds like a country song, though.
Ooh, play something country. I got to warn you in advance. Next week I'll be on a country cook because I'm saying Brooks and Dunn Friday night.
Oh, it's called Chase Lounge, and it's by the band Wet Leg. Okay.
Who?
Got some southern women out on the porch with fans. I'm guessing it's country.
The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Rob Brown, Lonzo, you, 844-FAN phone, 844-FANFONE. Text us 71307 on the Preferred Home Services text line. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, so we can read it on the air. Texture says, Fan, it's going to be hot as Hades out here today. V-necks are totally fine as long as the collar is not worn out, and hopefully you're not wearing bicyclist stretchy tight shorts. All right, couple of things. One, I'm definitely not wearing bicyclist stretchy tight shorts.
Do you own any of those?
I've got a pair of tights, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to ball in tights. I used to play basketball in tights.
Okay.
I jumped on when, like, Braun, Steph, and AD started the hoop out in tights phase, right? And I'll be real with you. The only reason I got them is because I was in the outlets in Sandestin, Florida one time, and there's a Nike outlet down there, and I went in, and they were selling them for like $5 or something dumb. And I was like, all right, well, let me try it, right? The big dogs are doing it. Why not give it a shot? And I got to tell you, best workout gear I own. Without a doubt, best workout gear I own. So, yeah, I got a pair of tights, but no, I would not wear them to work out of sympathy for Lonzo and anybody else who sees me in this building, right? They get covered up with hoop shorts anyway, so why would I wear those and not just wear hoop shorts?
I think it's funny that you think that you could wear something that would affect anyone in this building.
That's true. I have
Because
seen
you can't.
everyone else who works here. Fair point. Fair point. Listen, the V-neck collar is not worn out because I wear these about twice a year. About twice a year I hit the world with the V-neck. V-necks are for pecs. Like, if you've got pecs, you can rock a V-neck. I don't. I am borderline man boobs. All right? Borderline man boobs.
See, he's saying all this, but if you're on the stream on Facebook or on YouTube, he's trying to flash the gun show every once in a while. He'll turn a little bit and do a little bit of a bicep
Still got
flex.
it, Lonzo. Still got it.
Yeah, that's just weird. Yeah, don't do
Still
that.
got it. Still got the pec flex.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
I am. I think I pulled
You're
something.
gonna pull one like Cody, and then you'll be out.
Anyway, look. If you're comfortable with a V-neck, go crazy. The problem is not a V-neck. The problem is when people get so deep V that it's like down by the belly button.
All right, I just gotta
Now you just
say,
look ridiculous.
at the risk of getting in trouble because I care, you are not the person I expected to be wearing a V-neck. There's only one person on this station who I think has multiple V-necks and khakis to go with the V-necks.
Does he sit in that chair?
No, he does not.
Oh, I'd have thought Diesel was a V-neck.
No.
I can see Diesel being.
You can't listen to death metal and wear V-necks.
Diesel plays golf on the. Diesel is taking multiple golf lessons per week at this point to try to catch me. All
No,
right?
he just wants a better job. That's all.
NBA Finals yesterday evening. And I'll tell you, this game, I don't know how much of you got to watch the Zoe, but this game was interesting because there were about 4 or 5 different points where I went, yo, Dubs got this. Oops, nope, Celtics got this. Oops, no, Warriors got this. Oops, no, Boston got this. Both teams had plenty of opportunities to run away with this game. And it was not until deep in the fourth that the Warriors took advantage of the last opportunity to run away with this game. Boston, as a matter of fact, stormed back from about 16 down to take a lead, stop the presses in the third quarter.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think this thing's over, unfortunately, because Boston was down so much. Just at the beginning of the game, they were down like 10 or 15, and it looked like they could never get back, and they would get within 10 or so, and then Golden State would come back, and then they took the lead. You took the lead on a night when you kept Steph Curry to basically nothing, and you couldn't win the game because you can't hit free throws, and it wasn't necessarily defense that was keeping Boston from making shots. They weren't making shots.
Yeah, it was sloppy shooting. Sloppy shooting
And
from Boston.
especially at the end of the game, your stars look tired.
Yeah.
And you should not be out of shape and tired at this point of the season. I mean, it was kind of sad.
Yeah, it was sloppy shooting. Listen, and I'm going to give Golden State's defense a little bit of credit, right? I felt like at one point deep into this game, in fact, I tweeted this. I was live tweeting the game on the Fan Upstate account at twitter.com/thefanupstate. Make sure you're followed there. I was tweeting this game, and I said, you know what stands out to me about this? These two teams switched identities as far as I was concerned, right? In the fourth quarter, it was Golden State that seemed to be a defensive-minded team that was aggravating Boston, and Boston did not know how to respond. They just started taking low percentage shots, middle percentage shots, shooting poorly, bad shot selection, and it killed them. On the flip side, Golden State realized, all right, it's not Steph's night. It's just not Steph's night. Steph Curry had 16 on 7 of 22 from the floor and 0 of 9 from behind the arc. That is bad. That's bad for anybody. But you know what they did get? They did get Draymond Green stepping up in some big spots. 8 boards, 6 assists, a steal, and 8 points, 3 of 6. Although, Draymond, I know I've been on you through these NBA finals. I know I've criticized you. But the only reason I criticize you, Draymond, is because I believe in you. I wouldn't be criticizing you if I didn't believe in you, Dre. I wouldn't. So help me, if you shoot another three-pointer in this NBA Finals, I hope Klay Thompson superplexes you off of the glass. All right? If you shoot another three, I hope Klay power bombs you off the rim through the court. 0 for 2 in threes last night. He is now, I believe, 0 for 12 from deep in this NBA Finals, including, by the way, a buzzer-beating effort to end the first half. The Warriors on a run, in a really good position to blow the doors open. They've got plenty of time for a shot selection, and what do the Dubs decide is the best opportunity for some walk-off points to further demoralize the Celtics into the locker room? Another missed Draymond Green three-pointer. If it looks like I'm just hunting for something to critique Draymond, I'm not. Stop shooting threes, D. Because Draymond last night, Zoe, I don't know if you saw it. Draymond last night took a ball in the first half where he was outside the three-point line. He rotated back to the right. He faked as if he was going to drive, got his defender to come out on him, and what'd he do? Shoulders down, head down, went to the rack, and rattled the entire state of California with a dunk from the right-hand side, one-handed and back. It was beautiful basketball out of Draymond Green. My guy played last night.
Yeah, I did see it. It looked like he put forth a little more effort, but you're right. He needs to stay away from the three because he's just denting the rim.
Yeah, just stop, my dude. Outside of that, the Warriors were jumping passing lanes, right? They recognized, and Texter on the Preferred Home Services text line says, Boston is worn out. They have been 7 games every playoff series and only really have about an 8-man roster that play good minutes. And that's a good point. That's a good point. Golden State did last night run a lot of guys out. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys come off the bench, except for Cornette played 1 minute. Morgan played 1 minute. Hauser played 1 minute. Nesmith played 1 minute. Stauskas played 1 minute. And Pritchard played 5 minutes. And those 1 minute guys all came in the last minute of the game. The garbage time. All right, we don't need Brown and Tatum and Horford getting hurt in this one. So let's trot those guys out. Let's trot those guys out. Let them have the last minute of PT. Get the rest of the guys into the locker room to get the rehab started early. Boston does not have depth. There's no doubt about that. And oh, by the way, at this point, if the Boston Celtics are going to win this series, they have to win 3 consecutive Game 7s in playoff series. The only team that has ever accomplished that was coached by Pat Riley. That's how long ago it happened. Not owner Pat, coach Pat Riley. That's the last time that happened. It doesn't happen. And in fairness, it's not like there's a setup every year where a team's even got to do that. But now, Boston's got to go back home, win that one, and come back to Golden State. And by the way, that building was hot last night. That building was absolutely juiced last night. The Dubs fans were in the house. Here's what I need for Boston. I need Jason Tatum to stop being so damn unselfish. Jason Tatum has been busting his rear end to get everybody involved. Jay, Bay, I need you to stop. I need you to take over games. The Celtics took a lead last night in that game. They took a lead last night in that game in the third quarter. It was prime J time, and Tatum just disappeared. He was working so damn hard to try to get everybody else the basketball and get everybody else involved that he just would not go to the rack and score. And it was kind of frustrating. I don't say it often, Lonzo, but I need Jason Tatum to be more selfish with the basketball. Andrew Wiggins, on the other hand, was the perfect amount of selfish with the basketball. How about 26 points, 13 boards, and a really good night out of Andrew Wiggins? Steph was off. What did I say yesterday? Steph can cook. Last night, Steph did not cook. But I said even if Steph goes and cooks, if Steph can cook, you still need another guy to fill in the blanks to supplement him. If Steph is going to cook, you need another guy to supplement that to add to the total, right? Right? So last night, Steph was not cooking. 16 points. My man's been averaging 34 in this playoffs. Zoe, if I'd have told you pregame that Steph Curry was going to end the night 0 of 9 from 3 with 16 points, what would your prediction of that game been?
It would have been that Boston won the game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But he wasn't alone. 7 of 14 from the field, 5 of 11 from deep from Clay, 21. 12 of 23 from the field, 2 of 3 at the stripe. Although Wiggins was 0 for 6 from deep, 26 from him, 16 for Curry. But then you had guys coming off the bench to help. Gary Payton, 2, had 15 points, 6 of 8 from the floor. Jordan Poole, 4 of 8, 3 of 6 from deep, 14 off the bench. This was not a crazy impressive game. Not a crazy impressive game out of Golden State. But if you'd have told me Steph was going to go 0 of 9 with 16 points, I'd have went ahead and chalked up that it was an elimination game in Beantown on Thursday, but it's not. These two teams switched identities in the fourth quarter. All of a sudden, Golden State was a defensive mastermind. All of a sudden, Boston was looking to one superstar to pick them up and carry them, and he just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. All right, let's take a break. Next game is Thursday. Texter says that was Steph's first playoff game that he did not make a three-pointer ever. Yeah, 133 of them, I believe the number is. 133 playoff games for Steph Curry. Made a three in every one of them until last night. And here's my favorite part. There are people this morning going, unreal. How terrible is Steph? Unreal. How bad is Steph? My guy, he is 133 of 134 playoff games with a three-pointer made. I think he's earned an off night. And they won. Maybe a different story if they lost by 2, but they won. Back after this to wrap up hour number 1 on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate. Yeah. Yeah, he's a little goofy. I do love the word celebrator. Celebrator is a good word. I like that. Hang on one second for me, stream. Be right back. It's a flu game day for Lonzo. That one was rough.
That was like a Boston. Really?
I thought that was in.
Yeah.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different how? Sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investments.
Hard for me to find the anger that I need to make the shot right now.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
5x400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435. 5x480. Dayton B100 V-Belt. One of the many parts Ranger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob carry the gun. The job was on hold.
So you're saying that T-shirt is not cool?
Lonzo, that thing is a mess. That is too much.
The only thing that I would take off there is the veteran on the sleeves.
Just make it a shirt with like any one of those 4 images on it, and those is fine.
I completely agree with you there. The eagle with the wings with the
Yeah,
with the
I'd wear that
colors.
as a 4th of July
That thing
shirt.
is sweet. That eagle.
But like, it's a little busy, is all I'm saying. Go to my Twitter feed if you don't know what we're talking about.
Rob's on the edge
Actually,
of
you
being
don't have to.
communist here. Come on.
Here, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about because I'm in that kind of mood. Look at this shirt.
All right, how'd you get that picture on there without making it into a slideshow?
Go to share screen.
Yeah.
Go to open the share screen. On the right-hand side, like there's 3 options on the share screen. It's like share screen, share video, or share tab. And if you share tab, it will just show the tab that you're looking at. So that's actually my Twitter tab.
So okay.
So if you pull up a picture on like Twitter, you just share the Twitter tab, make it full screen on the Twitter tab, and it'll go straight.
Because
to the
we were
video.
trying to share the picture of that thing that was shown outside that zoo. Have you seen that?
No.
I'll send you a link from the Upstate Pulse's Facebook page. I can't believe you didn't see it. All right. So anyway,
That's
you're-
busy, right? Like that's a busy shirt, dude. It just is. Generic creator wrestler walkout song number 3. I love this. I love this.
You're cracking on it, but you
I
know,
love it.
there's a reason why I cranked it. For one, you didn't talk, and for the other, it's just that jams.
Yeah, man. Generic creator.
You want to know what the name of the song is?
Generic rock.
Creative Freedom.
There it is.
That's the name of the
There
song.
It is. It's good. It's a nice little riff, man. You know, like I can see throwing back a couple of beers with the boys in Shenanigans and bumping this as we make something up in the garage.
Yeah, this is montage music for some
Yeah.
workout thing or something for sure.
I just see a guy working those heavy
Yeah.
ropes. Fades to him on the pull-up bar, where he's just hanging.
Comes in tight, beads of sweat on the yeah.
We just let this roll the rest of the way.
It only has 25 seconds. Why not?
That's all I need.
You know, I'm curious how it ends. Yeah, I know I put it in there, but it's been a while, so.
This is the music they give to the jobber to send him out there to lay down for the superstar. It's fantastic, though. I like it. All right, NBA Finals again.
Big finish.
There it is.
There we go.
Game 5 goes 104-94 to the Celtics. I don't know, man. This was the most back and forth game. The most back and forth game that this NBA Finals has seen so far, right? Like the other games that have been won, clearly one team was in control the majority of the time. Golden State was in control of the fourth. And that, the first and the fourth. They were in control of the first. They ended that outscoring Boston 27-16. Second quarter, Golden State outscored them by 24-23. Third quarter, Boston outscored Golden State 35-24. I mean, it was I don't know how to put it. It was as back and forth of a game as we've seen in these NBA Finals. But Andrew Wiggins was the difference. 29-20 was the fourth quarter score, and it was all they needed. Steph was, I'm not going to say Steph was a non-factor, but my guy has been averaging 34 a game through game 4 and then put up 16 last night. 16. Now, he did have a handful of assists in that game that were big time. Steph ended up with 8 assists. Draymond was 6, by the way. But Steph, again, not a non-factor, but certainly far from the factor he had been in every other game. But enough guys stepped up around him that his being a mitigating factor at best, I'm not going to say it didn't matter. But if Steph puts 34 down in that game, the Golden State Warriors win this game 124-94.
Lad on the stream is mentioning the non-calls. There were some non-calls. Here's another thing that Boston needs to do. Quit whining and crying when you don't get the call and get your butt back down the court and make a shot. Because there was a lot of whining last night. And does that ever work? Does it ever work? When you whine about a call, does it ever work?
No. In fact, if anything, I have talked to officials before at the college level, not at the NBA level. But I have talked to officials before who have told me that if you get overboard in crying about not getting calls, it's going to get worse before it gets better for you, right? Now, I also told that officials should not be officiating that way. Nothing that gets said or done outside of gameplay should impact your calls of gameplay, but they do. I'll say this. The officiating in that game last night was not good, but it was not good in both directions at least, right? I didn't really feel like either team gained an advantage from questionable officiating. I didn't feel like either team got a leg up because the officials were missing stuff. And yes, they were. I agree with Lad, who said, man, I hate to even say it and sound like that guy, but the refs missing calls and falling for flops, of which there were a few. Seb called that song Rex Kwon Do music. Good reference. You don't get it. Not a Napoleon Dynamite guy.
I did watch Napoleon. Again,
Rex Kwon Do.
I'm fighting through something here. And it's like one of those, man, I know this. I know I should know this. And now that you mention it, now I do know this.
Think anybody wants a roundhouse kick to the face when I'm wearing these bad boys? Forget about it. Rex Kwon Do. Anyway. Yeah, there was who was it that took the Doctor Strange, definitely not an elbow to the face late in that game? It wasn't Wig. Was it Jordan Poole? On the Boston inbound, Marcus Smart got held. I want to say it was Jay Poole. Marcus Smart got held on the arm, and when it was time to inbound, Smart raised his arm up to try to pull it out of the clutches of Jordan Poole, which I honestly thought Jordan Poole could have been called for a hold there. But he tried to pull his arm up and out. It went past the nose of Jordan Poole, and Jordan Poole should have won an Oscar for the flop job that he laid down. And that wasn't the only one.
Do they teach you that? Is that something they teach you, how to flop the proper way, when to, or is that just something you come up with on your own?
No, it's like acting. You got it or you
so
don't.
You just look around and say, well, that guy did it. Let me try it.
It's like acting, right? Like if you've got it, then you can learn, you can take acting classes and get better at it, right? But you've got to know how to act. Otherwise, acting classes are worthless, right? I was not a flopper, though, but I was a very good charge taker, and I could exaggerate the hell out of taking a charge. Actually, funny enough, you want to know how I learned to take the best charge? Professional wrestling. If you go down and splay the arms and catch yourself with the arms first, it makes it louder and more dramatic. Great charge taker was Rob Brown.
So you took an excellent bump on the hard
Oh, hell
way.
yeah. And it hurt like a son of a you-know-what, but
That's what I was going to ask you. Is it worth it?
Yeah, it
Because
hurts.
I've never really talked to anybody who actually flopped on the basketball court.
But when the ref puts that hand behind the head and punches up the offensive foul, it's worth it, right? And I think that's the spot. You can all run in today talking smack about Jordan Poole taking the dive, and he did. I agree. And I agree. But you know what else Jordan Poole did? Got his team the ball back. Gave them another 2 points added to the lead to work with late in that game. Flopping will stop when you stop rewarding flops. The problem is that so many of them are so close, and you can't review every time a guy hits the deck to see if he flopped or not. That elbow came close enough to Jordan Poole's face to understand why the ref made the call in the heat. That's not even the worst call of the night. There were a bunch of them. But when it came down to it, I don't think either team gained a legitimate advantage over the other based on bad officiating. It was pretty square both ways, even if it was bad. Now, you can make the argument that bad officiating, because Golden State was such a mid-range jumper shooting team last night, that they got the better end of it, considering the number of guys that went to the rack, got fouled, and did not get the call. But I would also argue that in the first half, specifically the second period, where Boston took off, there were a lot of calls that were made under the rack that should not have been. Either way, while you know I hate me some bad officiating, either way, both teams played under equal circumstances, and Golden State capitalized. Now they head back to Beantown with Boston on the edge of elimination. We will have a further breakdown of that show coming up, that match coming up on Thursday's show when Game 6 rolls around. Coming up in the next hour, Team USA Soccer. They play tonight. One of their final chances to get tuned up for the World Cup. We're going to break that down. Kyle Sullivan of the Locked On Podcast Network is going to join us to talk Stanley Cup Finals and more. Don't go anywhere. The Rob Brown Show rolls on after this. This is the Fan Upstate.
All right. I sent you that link on Twitter.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I didn't see that. The Chupacabra. That's definitely real.
It's not, it can't be. The chupacabras are not that big.
And also not real.
Well, that's to be debated. But who I think it is, do you ever watch the Muppets and the band, Floyd? That's Floyd. They went streaking. That's who that is. Floyd went streaking.
It's peppy.
Look at it. That's Floyd. Yes, Dr. Teeth.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to get conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you'll be speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
At Ingalls, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball. And this is who we are. Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
The Rob Brown Show, now 9
rewards, plus your chance to win $5.6 million. Download MLB Play. Enjoy the app. Enjoy the show. MLB Play. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 or older to enter Beat the Streak, which ends at the conclusion of the MLB regular season or when the grand prizes run. Restrictions apply. See MLB.com/play for official rules.
How many months have we been in this time slot?
2, 3.
Seems longer than that. When did that happen? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Is it good? Is it good or bad that neither one of us remember? I don't know.
The following is a commercial announcement. There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music.
It wasn't for any other reason other than the fact that I can't remember. That's the reason why I was asking.
Text local to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters. This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-828-5242 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-828-5242. That's 800-828-5242. What do you have to lose? Call 800-828-5242. Again, 800-828-5242.
Yeah, Prisma in the first break. Okay, that was weird.
It's not supposed to do that, right?
Yeah, it's not supposed to do that either. Dag on it. Hold on. Okay. Let's try this way. Because the intro played, right? It started playing and then it stopped, right? Unless I'm wrong. Pretty sure that's what happened. Yeah, the open was in there. It just stopped playing. Gremlins.
Our limited dose of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to be with you once again. I am Rob Brown, the great one, Lonzo, in the pilot's chair today. We're glad to have you along for the ride. 844-FAN phone, 844-FANFONE, 844-326-3663. You can also text us on the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. We'll read them on the air. FAN, F-A-N. We will read them on the air. There is a guy, I just found this. This got posted late last night. There is a guy out in San Francisco who has made a name for himself by using someone else's name. Fake Klay Thompson. Fake Klay has been rolling around in a Klay Thompson jersey for a very long time. His name is Dawson Gurley. And Dawson looks a little bit like Klay. Now, he went and got the matching haircut. He rocks the Klay goatee. And he definitely looks a little bit like Klay Thompson. If you are not watching on the stream, you should join us on the stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate or search The Rob Brown Show on YouTube, and you can watch us live every single day. Good reason to do it is that I can frequently share some of the visual components of stories that I am telling you, like this one about fake Klay. So I've got fake Klay up on the stream right now. There's fake Klay right there. His name is Dawson Gurley. And I will say, Zoe, I don't think I would be fooled by him, but I could see how if you're at the game in the heat of the moment and this guy went running by you with a Klay Thompson jersey on, I could see how maybe he would pass enough to get by.
Forehead's different shape, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not identical, right?
Maybe if he's wearing a hat or something, he would look a little more like him.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, again, he shares a passing resemblance with Klay Thompson. Well, this cat, Dawson Gurley, has been taking advantage of his passing semblance to Klay over the past couple of years. He has been the topic of conversation on ESPN. Steve Kerr has seen him in person. In fact, at one point he said, I saw him, I turned around and I was like, Klay, did you eat a few extra burgers this weekend? Fake Klay has shown up to everything from finals games to ring ceremonies, and NBA fans in Golden State seem to love the guy. You know who does not like the guy?
I'm guessing Klay.
No, Warriors and Golden State security guards who he once again got past last night.
Well, you must look pretty close to it if you can get past security. This just reminds me of the guy dressed like Andy Reid all the time. That looks a lot like Andy Reid, and they show him in the audience all the time. I bet that guy could get past security, too, if he tried.
Well, this guy got past 5 different levels of security guards last night.
Should you be fired if you're a security guard and you let the guy pass?
I think you kind of have to, right? I mean, I hate to say it. I don't take joy in anybody losing their job except Angel Hernandez and Brad and Beef
Stinking beef.
and Cookie. Outside of those guys, I don't take pleasure in people losing their jobs, but, you know, that's kind of legit your job. Last night, he got through 5 levels of security guards, got onto the floor, Lonzo, and shot around on the court for 10 minutes before a security guard realized, oh, boat, that's not Klay Thompson.
So, is it your fault that you get past security? Is it trespassing if they let you on the floor?
I'm going to say yes because you knowingly deceived people to get out there.
But you and I both know when you go somewhere, if you just act like you're supposed to be there, a lot of times people just leave you alone. I mean, it's happened a lot. I've been places you just act like you're supposed to be there and they don't even talk to you.
So Gurley last night, after he got through 5 levels of security, got onto the court, shot around in front of the Golden State crowd for 10 minutes before anybody recognized. I don't know if you know how long 10 minutes is.
I do. Was he the only one out there on the court?
I don't know. I don't have
Because
all the
I'm curious
details.
if other players were out there and didn't know it wasn't him.
I
Because
don't
that
have
would be
all the
hilarious.
details. What I do have in front of me is the letter that the Golden State Warriors and the Chase Center sent to Gurley, banning him from the arena for life. Dear Mr. Gurley, on June 13th, you entered through the employee entrance at Chase Center prior to a Golden State Warriors versus Boston Celtics NBA Finals basketball game without a valid ticket, valid credential, or pre-approved authorization by Chase Center, GSW, or the NBA League office.
All right, wait. Stop a second. So he did all that without. So none of those credentials were checked. So he all the things that you just read, he did all that without his credentials being
so
checked.
here's the thing.
So this is on security. Security should be fired.
I agree, but if you are Klay Thompson, you don't roll into the building with credentials. You roll up and they go, that's Klay. Get out of the way.
I don't know about you, but if I'm working the security desk or whatever, I don't care who you are. Show me your ID.
Didn't one of the insurance companies make a commercial about that?
there's been a lot
The
of things,
CP3.
and there was a Saturday Night Live skit with Joe Dirt. Who's that guy?
David Spade.
David Spade. Yeah. Him being at the front desk. And you are? Yeah. I mean, I'm checking. I don't care if I know who you are or not. And if it bothers you, it's my job.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Again, I have been obviously in many large sporting events because my job and my life are awesome. And yes, when Rob Brown, who definitely does not look like an NBA player, rolls up to the arena, I get every credential checked multiple times. But if you are Clay or Steph or Draymond, they know you, right? They know you. For instance, there's a adult beverage store around the corner from my house. And when Rob Brown goes in to replenish the bourbon supply at the at-home wet bar, the guy that works there officially knows who I am. He does not check my ID anymore. I have watched him check the ID of guys in their 50s and 60s, and that is his job, and I understand that. But I have been in there so many times. He has seen my ID so many times that when I open the door, it's first name greeting. What's up, Rob? What are we drinking today? I'll take this Angel's Envy, and I'll see you next time. All right, big guy, that'll be $24. See ya.
But at the same time, if the owner is there or if it's a corporate thing and they walk in and they see him not check your ID, even though he knows who you are, he could lose his job.
Maybe. The letter goes on to say you deliberately deceive Chase Center building personnel by impersonating a Golden State Warriors employee. Your being in the Chase Center without proper credentials or authorities is in direct violation of the fan code of conduct of Chase Center, GSW, and the NBA League. Your activities can also be deemed to be an act of criminal trespass, and we reserve the right to pursue any criminal charges through the City of San Francisco Police Department and the City Attorney of San Francisco. Your conduct was in violation of the rules of both the NBA and Chase Center, as well as a violation of the laws of the City of San Francisco and or State of California. Based on this conduct, the Golden State Warriors, Santa Cruz Warriors, Chase Center, Kaiser Permanente Arena, sure, and the National Basketball Association hereby inform you that you are banned indefinitely from attending any future NBA, WNBA, G League, or 2K League games or any concert and or event held at Chase Center, Thrive City, and the Kaiser Permanente Arena, Santa Cruz, California. Any violation of you being found at any of these properties, whether ticketed or not, you will be subject to arrest for criminal trespass. End quote. Fake Clay got on the floor for 10 minutes last night. 10 minutes.
I'm still trying to figure out what he did to trespass. They let him on the court. It's not, you're not trespassing if someone says go ahead. That's not trespassing. That's an invitation. I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm just saying I don't see how they have a case.
I would think that
Can they ban him? Absolutely, they can do that.
I would say, as we go Law and Order TRBS edition.
I wish I had that sound effect.
Dun, dun. As we go Law and Order TRBS edition, I would say that impersonating an employee in order to gain access is probably the same as having a fake credential, right? There's a guy.
Unless he said, "Hey, I'm Clay." Did he say anything?
I don't think you need to. He rolled up in a Clay in full uniform, by the way, right? Like nothing else. He was in a full Warriors uniform.
There's no one else in the stands who's coming in full uniform.
I don't know, man. I'm going to go with the guy got caught. This was the risk you took. You got caught after X amount of years, because it's not the first time he's done it. But after X amount of years, you got busted and you're done. Your YouTube phenomenon days are over. I would say that dressing as an employee, acting as an employee, treating yourself as an employee, and passing yourself off as an employee to gain access to an unauthorized area is certainly trespassing. And this is not being Rob Brown, old stodgy rule guy, because I'm not. I am saying it was actually really, really, really funny, but you got caught. And sometimes when you get caught, it would be like, the jackass dudes in the last movie and the movie before the last one, where they went to the golf course and they started, they would sit in the woods in full camo behind a tee box. And when guys would go to tee off, they'd hit the air horn in their backswing, right? And at one point, I mean, it was genuinely funny to Rock's reaction to the golfers. Probably not to the golfers, but it was funny to them. At one point, a guy on the tee box, after shanking his tee post air horn, turns around, puts a ball on the tee, and then aims it directly into the bush where the jackass guys are and just smokes a heater directly at him. And my thought was, that's also kind of funny, right? Like, that's also kind of funny. It's just as funny when you are on the targeted end.
All right, that was a work, obviously.
No, it wasn't.
It was a work. There's no way.
Everything's a work.
It's a work.
It's always work,
I
Lonzo.
am curious about this, which is filtered over to WRD too for some reason.
This story?
People asking me if I think that's a work or not.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so which is good. We love cross.
This show's influential.
Yeah, we love cross promotion and all that stuff. So a couple
Next
years.
time your boss is mad, she'd be like, "Boss, is this a work? Are you working me right now, boss?"
Yeah. How do you think he would react? Because he knows the difference between a work and a shoot. Because he's a real man.
Oh, no, I was telling the listeners
Oh, okay.
to do that.
I was going to say, because our boss is a
When your
real man
boss
and he likes
goes,
wrestling.
I need you to haul that heavy box down the hallway. Just be like, this is a work, and walk away.
So a couple years ago, Greg McKinney and I were at the NCAA championships, and we have press passes, but there are some places you're not supposed to go. We went down and sat in the in the wells where the bands would perform, and when one band would come in, we'd go to the other side and sit down in the well. Were we trespassing?
I mean, yes.
Were we?
Yes. If you are in an unauthorized area, yes.
No one stopped us.
I mean, right. Not
And
getting caught
we're-
doesn't. If I'm doing 100 down the interstate, but I don't get pulled over, was I speeding?
Well,
yes.
there were other people allowed down there because I told
Right,
this
but
story
you
before.
weren't one of them.
Well, they didn't say we couldn't, is what I'm saying.
Yes, they did. It's on the pass where the areas you were allowed to be. And I'm just saying this for the point of defending fake Clay, or not defending fake Clay, defending the Warriors. Wow, I'm defending the corporate entity. What is going on with Liberab the Woke Warrior today? And I only know that because when I was at the
I had a
NCAA
MAGA hat
tournament this
joke
year-
there, but I'm just not going to do it.
When I was at the NCAA tournament this year, I got in trouble for walking the sidelines, right? I was literally behind the Duke bench taking pictures of Coach K when one of the security guards comes over and he's like, "Hey, you are not supposed to be here." And I'm like, "Oh, I got a press pass." And he's like, "Yeah, this is unauthorized area. You can go back to the press area or you can leave." And it's like, "All right, dude, I'm done," right? Like, I got it. Honest Scout's honor, did not know that where I was off limits to the press.
All right, so admittedly, we didn't know if we were allowed down there or not, but we took the chance and we went down there and no one ever stopped us. We sit there with some dignitaries because Dan Radakovich was like 2 seats down and Greg was like, "Tell Radakovich you don't like Clemson." And he kept trying to dare me to do that. And I would never do that because it would come back on the station. It would have been funny though. But
You can tell him now.
yeah, where's he at now?
Miami.
Miami? Okay. So I'm trying to figure out, was I trespassing or not?
Yes. Just because you are unaware of it does not make it not
Hey,
true.
we were even on TV. I mean, I got
Dude,
pictures and stuff.
I was on TV literally over the shoulder of Jim Nantz this year. And then, but I was, in fairness, I was in a press row for that, not my assigned seat, but I was in a press row. I was in an empty chair. This dude knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing was trespassing, right? He doesn't even have the benefit of, I'm pretty sure you know you're not supposed to be taking warm-ups on the floor.
I think this is one of those things where you're just like, let's see when I'll get stopped. And then he gets past 1. Wow. He gets past 2. He gets past 5, and then you're in then. You got to do something. You get past 5 security guards, you've got to go out on the floor. You have no choice. I mean, because you know that you're in trouble. You might as well just go ahead and take some. The question is, did he shoot better than Clay that day?
No, this was last night. So no. Maybe in game 3. By the way, there was a cat that used to interact with my show when I was broadcasting down in Destin who went by the name The Big O. And this dude had
Obviously, an
pictures-
orange juice fan.
Yeah,
of course.
correct.
Yeah.
He had pictures of him on the field at Super Bowls with like every Super Bowl winning coach. And I'm like, yo, how do you get these? This is dope. And he told me that what he did was he would go to the stadium with like a laptop and an inkjet printer, or he would do it at the hotel or whatever. But basically, he would wait until the pictures of the press badges came out. He would find a picture of the press badge. He would then go on the internet, go on like Photoshop and just make a press pass. He just make
See,
one.
that's big
and then go
time.
to the
That's,
game.
that's big time illegal.
Yeah, I'm like,
though.
dude, you know
That's-
you'll go
that's
to jail
counterfeit.
for a long time.
That
for
is counterfeited credentials.
He's like, yeah, but if I go to jail, I'll go to jail, but I'll have all these cool pictures. I'm like, all right, man. I don't know if meeting Sean Payton is worth a year and a half in jail. You know, like I'll just go to a press circuit one time.
Yeah, I'm sure Butch, your cellmate's really going to be impressed by that.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we've got actual sports to talk about. We'll do a little soccer when we come back. Then we're going to be joined by Kyle Sullivan of the Locked On Podcast Network. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is the Fan Upstate.
Prisma. I hope.
You know it. Mark Ryan, Rob Brown, DA, and yours truly, Jim Roman the Jungle. Weekdays at noon on the Fan Upstate.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about our friends at Prisma Health right here in the Upstate. When I find myself in need of medical attention, that is where I go. Routine physicals, injuries, psychological issues. Maybe you're dealing with something like cancer that runs in your family. Prisma Health has got you set up with locations all around the Upstate, so there is one convenient to you. They have doctors that you can look through on their website at prismahealth.org. Find the doctor that is right for you, that you trust, that communicates well with you. And once you've done that, you set your appointment at the Prisma location that is close and convenient to you. And there is one. They're everywhere. And you can trust that your doctor is going to have the most up-to-date and important information. I was looking for a better word, but that's really it. The most important information to treat your healthcare need, and they're going to have the most up-to-date and state-of-the-art technology to treat you as well, regardless of what your health issue is. Sleep disorders, orthopedic injuries, whatever. Prisma Health has got you covered. That is why they are the official healthcare provider of both the Tigers of Clemson and the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Their athletes' health and well-being is their number one concern. Their number one concern for you is your health and well-being. Check them out online at prismahealth.org. Prismahealth.org. It's our friends at Prisma Health right here in the Upstate.
Still trying to figure out why that thing faded that.
Yeah, that was weird.
medication if an aid is right for you. If it's prescribed, it ships free right to your door.
I think I'm gonna check these HIMS guys out.
And get this, the ED medication
Congrats to your fiance, Travis. That's pretty cool.
and has the same active ingredient. I can finally say
Nice.
For a free online consultation, go to forhims.com/wadia. That's forhims.com/wadia.
Everyone knows how beneficial therapy can be, but traditional therapy can be overwhelming, confusing, and inconvenient. When scheduling in-person therapy, it can be difficult to find the right therapist near you, and it can take weeks to get on their calendar. We knew there had to be a better way, and that's where BetterHelp began. I'm Danny, co-founder of BetterHelp Online Therapy. When Alana and I started BetterHelp in 2013, our mission was simple: find a way to make professional therapy accessible, affordable, and convenient for everyone. BetterHelp works around your schedule and lifestyle. You can connect to a therapist by phone, video call, or even text message. You don't even have to turn on your camera if you don't feel comfortable. And if your therapist isn't the right fit, you can switch anytime with a click of a button.
Just want to say that was not a dab, by the way.
See why over 2 million members
That was a
for online therapy. Go to
like a
BetterHelp.com.
Hulk Hogan
You know who I
point.
haven't seen in a minute? Tayshawn.
10% off.
Tayshawn big.
That's better, H-E-L-P.
Checking him. Like I see him on the internet on Xbox every now and then.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments,
Oh no, he said he sent me a friend request. I never saw it, so maybe it was. I mean on Xbox.
Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably seen things.
So my barber suggested a new shampoo,
One transparent
which is making my hair fuller because apparently,
clients together.
not really what I wanted, but I thought I'd give it a shot anyway.
That's because
My hair doesn't
helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
retain moisture.
Why most of our clients come from other
The things that you learn when you go to the barber once a year, like I do.
investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
This report is sponsored by Bojangles. It's Bo time. Look closely and you'll see that Bo's chicken sandwich is only made the right way. Hand breaded with bold southern seasoning. But watch out, if you look too close, you end up eating it. Get a free Bo's chicken sandwich in our app. It's Bo time.
Getting the game, Mama Bob Brown Show.
Team USA taking on El Salvador in football tonight. A little American soccer. About 5 months left until the United States team will meet in Qatar and set up for the World Cup. They've got El Salvador tonight, one of the last few World Cup tune-up matches that this team will get. I think they've got a couple of friendlies in Europe before they travel to Qatar. And obviously, we'll break those down when we get there. But what is this? Here's what's really interesting about this World Cup. It is the schedule. Now, of course, the Americans missed the last World Cup, but 8 years ago, before they headed down to Brasilia, this team was able to get together a month before the World Cup and spend that month together before the tournament, getting everything together. They had a couple of friendlies in that period, 2 of them in 11 days. That was followed by another 1 week period in camp before they headed to Brasilia. Well, they don't get this time around because of the fact that FIFA is incredibly corrupt and because of the fact that they decided to award Qatar the World Cup because of reasons and because of the fact that is 180,000 degrees in Qatar in the summertime, the World Cup has been moved to the wintertime. The World Cup being moved to the wintertime means that effectively teams are going to get back together about 5 days before they get to Qatar and start in this tournament, which means that these games that the Americans have been playing the last week and the last couple they'll play in, I think, September before they go to Qatar in November, this is it. This is your last chance to figure it out. Now, we've been looking, obviously, for a striker. Jesus Ferreira scored 4 against Grenada. Greg Berhalter said that tonight, Haji Wright will get his turn to start in the number 9 position as part of a planned rotation. So far, Ferreira has started all 3 games in this window, was replaced in the first 2 by Haji Wright, who scored in his national team debut against Morocco with a PK. Tonight, Haji will go first. We may or may not see Ferreira get in, but this will give Haji Wright his opportunity to play the starter's role with Christian Pulisic on the left and Timothy Weah on the right, the 2 other players who project to be frontline starters for the Americans in Qatar. This is not going to be the highest quality opponent the Americans could face. This is just the reality of playing in the CONCACAF Nations League, which has, while pretty good top end with Canada, the U.S., and Mexico, pretty much everybody below that seems to be in a down cycle right now, which means you're not getting your highest quality opponents. So it'll be interesting to see what lineup Berhalter goes with tonight. You would assume, considering it is one of the last tune-ups, that Gregiga will end up going with more of a traditional starting lineup. We will see if he decides to send out Luca Del Torre. We will see if he decides whether he wants to go with Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, Yunus Musa, all of whom need some time building chemistry in the midfield. And of course, there are still other spots that have questions. Who's going to be the center back? Who's going to be the right back? And what does the depth look like at those positions? But we're effectively just about out of time to figure that out. The pressure's on Greg Berhalter. And by the way, Greg Berhalter has impressed me the last couple of months, right? I have not been a huge fan, but he has impressed me the last couple of months. And I'm hoping that we get a good result tonight. It should be a big one. Does not go kick until 10 p.m. this evening. Hooray, late night sports. We'll have a breakdown of that match later. I may talk about it later on in the show, but we've got to bail out because Kyle Sullivan of the Locked On Podcast Network is going to join us in the next segment. We'll talk a little Stanley Cup with him as the finals start up tomorrow. So we'll get his thoughts, we'll get his picks, and more when we come back. I am Rob, the great one Lonzo at the helm. You're listening to The Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Trey wants to know if you'd ever grow your beard really long.
My wife doesn't care about my hair, but she will not let me grow my beard long. So no.
Trey, unfortunately, I will not be at SmackDown in Greenville August 5th because I will be somewhere drinking rum on a beach in the Dominican Republic. And no, I don't regret that. All right, guys, give me 30 seconds. When we come back, we'll get Kyle in here. We'll talk a little hockey. From your own body, highly concentrated, then putting them into your own aching joints and this exciting in-office non-surgical.
I don't know why people grow their beards long though. I don't. I would just look like if I grew my beard long, I would go with Captain Lou Albano, little rubber bands in it, because you know.
Go long enough to braid it like Thor.
Ooh, that would be kind of cool.
Kyle, what's up, big dog? Oh, can't hear him.
What's going on?
There he is.
Yeah,
there
yeah.
he is. How you doing, pal?
Living the dream. It has been.
How's the little ones?
It's summer, so we are running like crazy.
So I guess the real question is, how are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm ready for my summer. Yeah, I don't know when I'll ever get that, but my goodness. Let me pop my mic. Oh, good to go.
Also, a quick answer to Travis. I should be there at SmackDown, by the way. Even though Rob will be out of town, I should be there. I will look like I'm not having a good time, but I am.
I almost wore my Macho Man glasses for this, but I did not.
We would have both approved of that decision.
That would have been amazing.
When the Avs went to the Cup, I did the whole episode as Macho Man Randy Savage.
My D&D character, I talk like Hulk Hogan the whole time. Brother. Which was a mistake when I sat down and realized that those are 4-hour sessions. And then I have to do radio the next day.
I did the whole. I have a WCW 1990s bandana, NWO, and I wore the NWO shirt. I had a Slim Jim. I had the title belt. I had the whole thing.
Hopefully the Slim Jim wasn't from that era, although if it was, it probably still would taste good because they're Slim Jims.
They have like the super massive ones now. They're called like Savage style, and like they have Macho on the Slim Jim. It's like this huge. It was awesome.
I don't recall. Have you ever asked him the hot dog question? I think you have.
I don't know. Have I ever asked you the hot dog question, Kyle?
I don't think so.
When you order a hot dog,
Mm-hmm.
you just say to the waitress, "I'd like a hot dog, please." What do you expect to come on it?
Ketchup, mustard. Usually about it, unless you say all the way.
Condiments, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In South Carolina, the default hot dog comes with chili, which is a chili dog. And the people here hate me more than anything else for the take that if I want chili on it, I'll ask for a chili dog.
You don't ask for a hamburger and expect cheese on it. You ask for a cheeseburger.
Right, that's a cheeseburger.
In the
Absolutely.
name of consistency, that's a cheeseburger. If you ask for a hamburger, you're not getting cheese. You ask for a cheeseburger.
So if you get a hot dog, ask for a hot dog, and it comes with chili, you gave me a chili dog. I wanted a hot dog.
Correct. Don't get me wrong. I am pro chili dog. I'm a big fan of the chili dog.
Yeah.
Melt some cheese across the top. It's a goat caliber bar food. But
Like I remember going out to Lockhart to Hart's and getting that chili dog with slaw on it. So.
Yeah, but you ordered that specifically. You didn't.
Right, did you
yeah.
Exactly. I didn't just go in there asking for a hot dog. Because if I ask for a hot dog and that was given to my kid with chili on it, it would not go well.
We were at a restaurant for lunch Sunday.
10 seconds.
I told the story yesterday, and a lady asked for a hot dog for her granddaughter, and then she sent it back because it didn't have chili on it. And the waitress was like, "Oh, so you wanted a chili dog?" And that lady was like, she looked so indignant about it. It was amazing.
Ugh.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. I am Rob Lonzo at the board. And now we welcome into the show. You have heard him join us a number of times throughout these NHL Stanley Cup playoffs to talk a little hockey. My man Kyle Sullivan. He hosts the Locked On Avalanche podcast for the Locked On Podcast Network. He's a big NHL bro, and he joins us to talk a little stick puck now on the show. Kyle, what's up, fella? How you doing?
Living the dream. My goodness, the Avalanche clinched their spot in the Stanley Cup a week ago, so it has felt like an eternity.
Yeah, and let's start about that. Now, for the sake of this discussion, I am going to start, Kyle, by asking you metaphorically, because that's a really dope hat you're actually wearing, but to metaphorically take off the Avalanche hat And let's talk about this down the middle, and we'll start with that. Tampa took longer to close out New York. Took them 6 games to do it. Really impressive fight back. We're going to talk about that. But what advantage or disadvantage might the Avalanche have by having had those extra 5 or so days off over Tampa? They go ahead and sweep the the Western Conference Finals. Obviously the obvious ones are a little healthier because they've got more time to rest. The negatives, obviously, is you might lose a little bit of the chemistry. You might lose a little bit of the timing. So what are the biggest impacts for the Avalanche having so much extra time over Tampa?
If you would have asked me this question maybe in like 2018, 2019, the rest versus rust conversation would come into play. With what not just the NHL, but all sports across the nation have gone through when it comes to COVID seasons, COVID shutdowns, and adjustments, this team is used to it. They've already endured a COVID shutdown this year and get right back to play and right back to business. The advantage the Avalanche have, they have 2 players right now, Cogliano and Nazem Kadri, both with broken fingers. Naz is a thumb, Cogliano, unspecified finger, one of them's broken. And Darcy Kemper, their goalie, has been experiencing a little bit of vision problems. So with this week plus that the Avalanche have, they get a little bit of a chance to rehab, like get their team back together. And if you look, like the Avalanche, they swept their first round against Nashville. They went 6 against St. Louis. They won that in 6. And then you got a sweep again in the Western Conference Finals against Edmonton. This team is determined. They know what the goal is, and they are determined to get there. I don't feel like they're going to have a step back when it comes to this rest because they have one mission on their mind. Tampa Bay, like, they've had this time off, but they deserved it. They need to stay in that flow. They need to keep this going. Like, this is business as usual for the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. So this is what they need. They feed off this. And honestly, it sets up perfect. If you're a non-hockey fan, this is something you want to turn on because this is a battle of the Titans.
Kyle Sullivan of the Locked On Podcast Network here on the Rob Brown Show, the Fan Upstate. So let's talk about the Eastern Conference champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning, a team that gave away the first 2 at New York. And in fact, it looked for a while like New York was going to dominate in that series. But then Tampa comes back, and they don't necessarily go out there and beat the hell out of the Rangers. They're winning 1-goal games. They're winning in OT, but they needed the vets. They needed Kucherov. They needed Stamkos. They got those guys to step up. Is this Tampa team a team that is gelling at the right time, or is that the result of, hey, there's a lot of experience on this squad?
It's a little bit of both. This team is gelling. Like, you can't go out. Like, you're back-to-back champions. You have a lot of pride on the line. You got to get it together. You have to get back to business. And it kind of coupled well with New York kind of getting that Toronto-type lead, like being up 2-0 in the series with a 2-goal. Like, they were up 2-0 in Game 3. And for it to come all the way back where Tampa takes the whole series away, New York kind of fell apart. The moment got a little big for them. And last time we talked about the Rangers, I didn't give them much of a chance because they're just riding a hot goalie. And that's what it turned out to later in that series. New York couldn't score. You couldn't pay them to score, and they literally are. And they could not do it. And it became, in that final game, healthy scratches to Ryan Reeves and Capo Caco just to try and get things going. Too little, too late, and Tampa Bay did what they did, and they're back where they belong.
This is, again, a team, we talked about the experience of which they have plenty. How much does that play into the Stanley Cup Finals? This is an Avalanche team that has not been there in many, many years, don't have a lot of guys who have been to a Stanley Cup Finals. Tampa is made almost entirely of guys that have been to multiple consecutive. Does that give a bit of an edge to Tampa that they know what this is like, especially against a team as hot as the Avalanche?
That experience gets the Tampa Bay Lightning to this point. You know how to emotionally react to a loss, to a blowout, to a win. You know how to regulate yourself. You know how to get through. Because it's one thing to get through the 82-game regular season. It's one thing to get through the playoffs. It's another. You're in the Stanley Cup. There is no additional path. This is where you want to be. So experience plays into how you handle the wins and losses. But with Colorado having there's a few, like Andre Burakovsky, he's on their second line. He won a cup with Washington. You have Darren Helm, who won a cup with the Red Wings. There is some experience when it comes to being on a cup-winning team, but this team is inexperienced when it comes to being in that big moment, and you got to rely on depth and determination for the Avalanche. So it's going to be a perfect matchup on experience versus determination, because the Avalanche have been in this spot where this should have been their cup for maybe the last 3 years, and they just couldn't do it.
So let's talk about some of the individuals that we think will play a role in this. And there are two names, one from each side, that I think have to be difference makers. For the Lightning, it's Nikita Kucherov, who has been an absolute force, leads the Lightning with 23 points in 17 playoff games. He is 9 points away from a career high for him that he set back in 2020. Nikita Kucherov and Steve Stamkos both came up clutch late in that series against the Rangers. And I've got to assume those are the two names, if you are the Avalanche, the two guys you've got to have your eyes set on the most.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and especially, like, it goes back to the experience we talked about. They're not just experienced, but they are crucial. And to step up in those big moments, like, that's exactly what you need. The Avalanche were anticipating that out of Connor McDavid in the last round, and you just didn't get it. Tampa Bay has weapons in spades when it comes to experience, and Kucherov and Stamkos, like, they can hurt you if you let them. And the Avalanche have to be ready for that, and that's where the experience comes in. How do you react when that happens? So those are two huge names that you are looking forward to, not named Andrei Vasilevsky, because he is going to be clutch.
Yeah, we'll talk about the goalkeepers coming up in a minute. On the other side for the Avalanche, Nathan MacKinnon has been nothing short of spectacular for Colorado, despite not having seen him on the ice for 8 days, 9 tomorrow. He has been kind of the driving factor. But because, again, the Avalanche are new here, Tampa's been here 3 times in a row, a guy that has made his mark in the playoffs, but maybe not quite the household name that Kucherov and Stamkos have been. What do you expect out of him? And if I ask you to give me a second name for the Avs that will be a role player, or I guess I should say more than a role player in this, who would you say?
It's easily Cale Makar. All year long, he's had that legendary type season where he's being equated to legends. It's not just he's in there with a company of his peers. He's being compared to, like, Bobby Orr. And if you want to put a bow on that type season, like, this is where you do it in the Stanley Cup. And he has to step up. It's one thing to say you're like, it's another thing to say you are like Bobby Orr. And this is where you make your name. Nathan MacKinnon, he's gone on this tour. We beat Duchesne, a former Av, in round 1. We beat Ryan O'Reilly, former Av, in round 2. Tyson Barrie, former Av, in round 3. And now we're facing P. Belmar, former Av, in round 4. Like, this is the Avs revenge tour. And if they're going to make a claim, Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar have to be exactly what they've been all year long.
Let's talk about the goalkeepers since you brought them up. And obviously, the most interesting thing here is that Darcy Kemper missed the final 3 games of the conference finals with an upper body injury. Should be available tomorrow. But the backup, Pavel Francouz, has been pretty good. Started and won games 2, 3, and 4. Do the Avs go back to the hot hand that's won the last 3? Or do you make the switch back to your starter who carried you most of the season? Who do we see in the net leading off for Colorado tomorrow?
You, my friend, have just opened Pandora's box when it comes to the Avalanche. Me and my co-host Chris Maselli on Locked On Avalanche, we took both sides of this argument. And you want to talk about a passionate discussion. Who do you go with? DK, the guy who got you here, or Francouz? He's been one step away from this being his team for maybe the last 3 years. He was right behind Grubauer when he was here, and injuries have kept Francouz from taking this team over. But when he's in this moment, he hasn't lost a game all playoffs. The 2 losses, which is weird to say in a playoffs, you're in the Stanley Cup, you only drop 2 games. Those have been Darcy Kemper's games. And Pavel Francouz has been perfect. So Coach Jared Bednar has his hands full when it comes to determining who he's riding. Me, personally, I say this is a Pavel Francouz ride him till he gives you a reason not to. But it's perfectly understandable to say, hey, Darcy Kemper got you here, let him go the whole way. But that upper body injury was vision issues. And as a goalie, I think you need your eyes. So if you can't see the puck, you don't need to be back there blocking the puck. So if he's 100%, there's no problems putting him behind the net, but you want to make sure he's actually 100% and not just hockey 100%.
On the flip side, Andre Vasilevsky, as you mentioned, 12-5-0 with a 2.27 goals against average in this one. He won the Conn Smythe Trophy as the most valuable player in the postseason when the Lightning won the Cup in 2021. He is, I think, squarely planted in the conversation to do it again this year. This guy has been money. I know they dropped a couple on the road at the Rangers, but that was a Rangers team coming off a very good series win and in one of the toughest places to play hockey in America at Madison Square. How good does Andre Vasilevsky need to be for the Lightning to repeat a third time?
He needs to do exactly what he's always done. The Avalanche have beat him twice in the regular season this year, but that's a completely different animal. This is postseason Vasilevsky. This is where he excels. This is where he thrives. And the Avalanche have their hands full. If they can break him early in this series and figure out how he operates, then that will give the Avalanche an upper hand. But if he gets in there, gets settled, and gets comfortable doing what he does, it's going to be a long, hard series for this Colorado Avalanche team. And Vasilevsky is literally the best goalie in the league right now. And he has been for some time. So if the Avalanche want to make their name and continue this legendary story, this is how you do it. You have to topple the giant.
Kyle Sullivan of the Locked On Podcast Network here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Kyle, before we cut you loose, obviously, game one tomorrow, need a projection. The two-time defending Stanley Cup champions, welcoming the new kids on the block, but a hot-shooting Colorado team. Give me your projection for this series.
I honestly, I'm not just being a homer, but watching the entire playoffs, this Avalanche team has a determination that I haven't seen in quite some time. This has a feel like a 6-game series. A 5 or 6. I know I'm leaning closer to it being closed out earlier, but the Avs just handle themselves different, and you want to anticipate them catching Tampa Bay just handling this like business as usual instead of the championship is right there. So I feel like this is a 5 or 6 game series, and the Avalanche can take it in that short of games.
There you go. That is Kyle Sullivan of the Locked On Podcast Network. He will be joining us throughout the Stanley Cup to break this thing down as it goes. My guy, great to have you as always, buddy. We'll talk to you in a few days after game one.
I look forward to it, my friend.
There you go. Kyle Sullivan, make sure you follow him on Twitter and all the other social medias at Shaggy Von Doom, the best handle on the internet. We'll talk to you next time, amigo.
All right, I'll be around.
That's Kyle Sullivan from the Locked On Podcast Network. We appreciate his time as always. We got to run to our top of the hour break. We'll come back here in just a minute. We got plenty more to get into. More Game 5 finals breakdown. Warriors headed back to Beantown and have Boston on the ropes. What do they need to do in the next game to put this one away and more? Third hour. Don't go anywhere. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is the Fan Upstate. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about my friends at Harley Davidson.
You have to fix the background.
Yes.
What? No, it's not. Some people just generalize way too much. Hey, Rob,
Hey, Lonzo.
you know what day it is?
It is Tuesday.
Just check and see if you knew what day it
Yep.
is. I earlier heard a liner about something that happens on Tuesday.
Somebody doesn't like the segment?
No, a liner.
Oh, a liner. Yes.
As
This is,
in-
oh, you said a whiner.
No, liner. I apologize for the snot. Hopefully this thing won't cut off again. Let us see. And it did. All right, I'm going to have to talk to them about this. Or I'm going to have to add a stop set in there, a set mode in there, so it won't do that.
The third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the Fan Upstate. Hello, Upstate South Carolina. Hello, America. Hello, world. Great to be back with you again. I am Rob Brown, the great one. Lonzo in the pilot's seat today. Be a part of the show, 844-FAN phone, 844-FAN-FONA, 844-326-3663 is the number. So this story came out a day ago. I meant to get in yesterday, but I didn't get the chance to, mainly because, LOL, the LA Angels were in the midst of a 14-game losing streak when they fired 68-year-old Joe Madden. Madden was let go after the Angels, expected to be a playoff team, were in the midst of disaster. Now, here is the part of that firing that is entertaining. The night before he got canned, Joe Madden, again, 68-year-old dude, went and got himself, Lonzo, a mohawk.
What you do? I mean, sometimes you know, I need to rally the troops.
Yeah.
I'm going to give me a mohawk.
Sometimes you've got to shock the system.
Especially when you're an older guy. You never expect that
Yeah.
sort of thing to happen.
Nobody expected 68-year-old button-down businessman Joe Madden to show up in the clubhouse with a mohawk. So Joe goes and gets the hawk, gets ready for work the next day, and then gets the phone call going, "You have been relieved of your duties. You are not the head coach of this team anymore." Which meant that when Joe Madden got the call that he was no longer the head coach of the LA Angels of Anaheim, Joe Madden was sitting in his house, I'm assuming with his family, rocking a mohawk, and then got cut. and then got let go. That's just bad timing. That's just bad timing.
I'm sure, and then you can go hang out at the biker bar scene, in his area, and he'll be all right, right?
I mean, my dude is almost 70 years old,
Don't be an ageist.
I'm not being ageist.
They're like 70-year-old bikers
I'm
out
just
there.
saying, could you imagine, because Joe Madden, I talked to Cody Decker about this, my co-host on my nationally syndicated radio program on Saturdays. I talked to Cody Decker about this. I was like, what do you know about Joe? And he's like, Joe kind of has this image of a player's coach. Guys love to be around him. Guys want to play for him. He's like, it's not really true. That's like it's an image that Joe has crafted with help from the media. He goes, but Joe is very much, when he is coaching, very much a businessman. There is no emotion in Joe's management style. He does not care how you feel about him when the uniform's on. So this is so out of character for Joe. This is not something I would have expected from Joe. So Joe Madden, button-down suit and tie baseball guy, ends up going and getting a hawk and then getting cut minutes after. Woof. Woof. Also, can I ask one more question? Why do baseball managers still wear a uniform? Like a baseball uniform? Why do managers rock a uniform like at any given point they're going to need to go out there and take a few innings at third?
I think it's a joke that ownership and players are in on.
Like, let's see how long we can get 70-year-old Joe Madden to put on tight pants.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
It's the best explanation I've got. There's no other need for it. All right.
So if you manage the team, you wouldn't want to wear a uniform?
No, I don't play baseball. I don't need to wear a baseball
You
uniform.
want to what? You want to dress up like Tom Landry on the? I mean,
No, I'm saying like sensible slacks and a polo would be fine. Like every other coach in every other sport.
yeah, but they wouldn't be loose. I mean, you might get in some sort of fracas out on the diamond. You got to have some flexibility.
Joe Madden is 68. If he takes a swing at anybody that requires a stretchy shirt, I'll be blown away.
We've seen older managers get in, a ruckus before. So.
Who was it? Who was it that Pedro Martinez shoved and I thought he killed him? Was it Lasorda? No, it wasn't Lasorda. Who did he shove down that time? I don't remember. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember seeing it when it happened and everything.
Yeah, maybe if you're a 68-year-old, it was Don Zimmer. It was Don Zimmer, who was 136 years old at the time.
See, now I'm picturing Jeff Van Gundy when he grabbed the leg. If he was actually in a basketball uniform, that would have been hilarious.
I'm just saying, I don't need managers dressed like players. It's weird.
It should be all or nothing. Either all sports don't do it or all sports do it. I want to see some NFL guys, some NBA guys dressed up in the uniform of their team.
Look, like my biggest complaint about the last men's national team soccer game for the Yanks was that Greg Berhalter was in like jogging shorts and a pastel orange T-shirt with a pocket on the front of it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what are you wearing, dude?
Going orange is never a good
Yeah.
way. It's a nasty color. It's just,
Never miss an opportunity, Lonzo. Never miss an opportunity. All right. Here's a question I saw pop up on social media. Baseball dudes, I'm curious as to your thoughts. Yankees Cubs the other day. The Yanks were up 13 runs. And so the Cubbies brought in journeyman first baseman Frank Schwindel to throw the last couple of innings. Just get us out of here, man. Just have a couple of guys pop up and get us out of here. And he served up absolute fire when he tossed a 35-mile-an-hour heater right over the plate to Yankees catcher Kyle Higashioka. 35 miles an hour. For comparison,
that's not Rob Brown heat.
not even, no, I'm bringing much more than that. For comparison, when I went out and tossed my first pitch last year, it gunned in at 52 and a perfect strike. All right? Anyway, Higashioka sent it screaming over the left field wall. The slowest ever pitch thrown for a round trip shot. I mean, this thing had so much arc in it. It started raining after the game. and Kyle took him into another zip code. It was ridiculous.
It's like a kid pitching to a dad, and the dad just nailing
Yeah,
it.
the dad is out of bleeps to give, and it's like, son's been getting a little cocky at the house lately. Better remind him who the alpha male is, and sends his wiffle ball into another zip code. Anyway, game was over at that point. Yankees were leading 17-4 at that point. 17-4 in the bottom of I think it was the 8th inning when this happened. It was not good. It was a blowout. This game was well over. That run made it 18-4 at that point. So people on Twitter started asking the question, should we just create effectively a mercy rule in Major League Baseball? Now, I am not in favor of a mercy rule, all right? Your professional athletes finish the damn game. What I would be in favor of is a rule that allows a team to quit if that's what they want to do, and here's why. When you get to the point that you're bringing in a first baseman who throws 35-mile-per-hour pitches, right? You're done. There is no winning that game, right? If the team wants to keep trying down 17-4, and they want to keep actual pitchers in the game, like bring guys out of the pen because you feel like you can overcome a 13-run deficit with 6 outs left to play. If you want to keep going, have at it. The only thing that makes me cautious about that is people who buy tickets to games. But this is the rare oddity. And here's the thing. If you were at the house and you had people who bought tickets and you're trailing 17-4, they're not staying anyway. Rob Brown is a stay till the last whistle, finish till the last out guy. I spent $100 on this ticket. I'm going to get every minute I can. But here's the other reality. They stopped selling beer in the 7th inning. The hot dogs in the 9th inning are cold because they stopped cooking them, right? And my team's down 17-4. I got no reason to stay. None at all. 0. I would be fine if baseball put in a rule that said a team in the 7th inning or later may retire from the game if they elect to do so, because there is no point at all. No point at all in a baseball game happening where a journeyman first baseman is throwing 35-mile-an-hour cabbages across the middle of the dish. There's no reason for it. It's absolutely pointless. And this is from a guy who, if my team is down 21-0 in a football game, I'm staying till the final whistle. When you get the Cubs throwing out a first baseman to pitch 35-mile-an-hour heat that, oh, by the way, is getting sent to the moon and back, the game is pointless at that point. There is no point in finishing the game. None at all. In either direction. There's no point in finishing the game. Player pitching, position players pitching has been a joke on social media, but it is a joke. Like, people pretend to get all excited about it, but it is sarcasm. It is sarcasm. We don't love it. It's pointless. It's boring.
All right, you're killing
wasting
me.
time.
You're killing me here. Sometimes you take an L at your job, but it's your job, and you work till the end of your shift, and you come back in the next day and you do better. We don't know about that, but I've heard tell that it happens at jobs. So sometimes you take an L, and you be out there and you do what your job is. If your job is to play third base, you play third base. If your job is to pitch, you pitch. You do what you're supposed to do, whether you're winning or losing. Come back the next day and do better. Mercy rule is ridiculous. That's for rec league.
Did you say it's dangerous?
Ridiculous. All right, so you're having a bad day at work. Again, I don't know about it, but I've heard tell of it. That if you're having a bad day at work and you go, boss, sorry, mercy rule, can't take it. Having a bad day, Got to go home. Be back tomorrow. Promise I'll do better. No, you can't do that. Your job is baseball. If you're getting beat 35-0, go out there and play the game till the end of the game. Come back the next day and do better.
The equivalent would be if you're having a crap day at work, you have lost a ton of money for your company. And your company's like, no. I need you to keep grinding. Yeah, I know you're losing money left and right for the company, but I need you to keep grinding. At some point, a lot of people have been sent home from jobs because you being there is actually unproductive, right? You might be trying to grind it out, but you being there is unproductive, right? I worked with a young lady waiting tables one day when I was a bartender down in Destin who had lost her cousin or something earlier in the day. She could not get a call out, right? There was nobody else available to come in and work her shift. My manager was a terrible person and was like, nope, you got to come in. Sorry about your loss. That sucks. I hate it for you, but you got to come in. This young lady was a wreck. She was very close to her friend or cousin or whatever she was. And she was a wreck. And it had such a negative impact on her ability to wait tables. She was making mistake after mistake after mistake that eventually the manager was like, nah, you got to go. You know what? It's not even worth you being here. You got to go. And made me come out from behind the bar to wait tables too. Sucked. I hated it. But at the same time, she was costing the restaurant money by not being on her game. So they cut her and sent her home.
So you're a position player. And you
Pitching, yes.
And you came out and you pitched.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah,
Way to go.
Struggled through it.
That's all right, though. But you worked till the end of your shift. You came back the next day and did better.
It wasn't about me. I do what I do really well. That's why I'm here. The point is that the team suffered for it. There's no benefit, right? You're not going to win the game. You're risking injury to everybody out there by continuing to play the game. Why not just end it?
You know, Bob, if we just get one more run on the board, we can hit the mercy rule and we can go home early. We don't have to stay here for 4 hours or whatever. So let's go ahead, Bob. Give up that run, and then we're out, okay? Because we can go mercy rule. Come on.
I mean, that's a rough hypothetical to lean on. Again, I'd say at that point, if you ever got caught saying, let's get mercy ruled, your fan base is going to turn on you. But I also got to tell you, if you are getting mercy ruled, they're going to turn on you. It doesn't matter.
There's the point. It's not gonna matter. So why not stay? Have a little pride about what you do. Show that maybe
I'm going to pride you're down 17-4.
You're down 17-4. Maybe you find something within yourself that you never knew you had in that, ninth inning. And it's like, wow, I can do this going forward and I can help our team do better. You never would have found it if you got mercy ruled and went home.
Did you get mad last night with 2 minutes left when the Celtics took out Tatum and Brown and Smart and Horford?
No, you know why? Those other guys got some playing time. Some valuable playing time.
Right. But the first baseman is not getting XP in case they ever need him in the closer's role.
You're an emergency for a reason. It's good to get a little bit of.
No, they had closers and relief pitchers available. They did not go to their bullpen, right? It wasn't like, let's bring in the lefty reliever rookie to get some XP on the bump. They brought in a first baseman. That would be like if they pulled Jason Tatum and sent in the athletic water boy to go get some X time. It doesn't matter. It's a waste of time.
I do not want to live in your mercy rule world, Rob. I want to apply myself and make myself a better person than those around me, even in a struggle, even when someone's having a bad day. No, mercy rule, that's ridiculous. It's never going to happen.
Texter says that homer looked like the scene from Rookie of the Year where the kid had pitched for the Cubs, lost his fastball. The hitter was probably licking his chops. Yeah, well, he had 8 minutes before the ball left the pitcher's glove and got to him. Of course he was salivating. He probably could have laid down and taken a nap before the ball got there. It was moving at 35 miles an hour. By the way, 5 points if you can tell me what the name of that kid from Rookie of the Year was. Without looking it up. You got it, Lonzo? Do you know? Do you remember his name?
No, I watched the movie, but it's a baseball movie, so I'm not. I mean, The Natural, I may have a shot at some names like Roy Hobbs, but that movie, no, probably not.
Henry Rowan Gardner was his name. Lost his heater after getting his elbow bumped in the ninth, and then underhanded it to the baddest dude in the league and struck him out. All right.
And what a bad precedent that set. What it said is, if you go out and break your arm, maybe you got a shot at being a big league pitcher. I mean, it's horrible.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back here in just a minute, it is Lonzo's favorite segment of the week. We missed him tremendously last week for Faces and Heels. He returns today. Good guys and bad guys. We'll figure out who's who next on Faces and Heels. This is the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
I don't think that's the same guy, Trey. Could be. I don't think so, though. How do you think they pull off the Elias thing next week?
I haven't gotten to that segment yet, so I don't know.
All right. I'm going to spoil because it's too late now. Zeke says Elias will be on Raw next week.
Love it.
So how are they going to do it?
Love it. He just comes
I mean,
out
fake beard is easy to do.
He just comes out Elias, but clean shaven, and he's like, no, I just shaved to support my brother.
That's a way to go. I didn't even think about that.
I just shaved
I was
to
thinking
support
fake
my
beard,
brother's
but
efforts.
Yeah, that makes sense. Stop firing everybody, Mark. What are you doing, man? Let him work, let him live. Wow, I just almost dropped my water. That would have been bad. I mean, I'd rather just miss completely than have it go in and come back out. That's just ridiculous. I've got my cameras here. I should set up trash can camera. It's a little bit more effort though to do that, but I could do that.
It spun a circle.
It hurts, doesn't it? Oh, you can see it for sure. I'm really shocked that went in. That's going to eliminate how I shoot the ball though.
Oh man, you got backboard to use now.
I do, but I'll knock it over with how hard I throw. I'm going to have to get some finesse. We could do trash can horse. We could.
Yeah.
Rob would lose though.
Okay.
I would have to say, no, I'm going to say that my percentage is much higher than yours when it comes to the trash can. I also throw more stuff in there than you do, though. So yours is just turn around and finger roll. I'm throwing half quarters here. You can ask a question, Trey, and I can answer the question. No, she is no longer with the company. She tendered her resignation a year ago, I believe. So I believe T2 said he's been here a year. I have no concept of time anymore, so I believe she's been gone a year. She wasn't a young lady either. She's like my age. If she's watching, she would think that's funny.
It is time for Lonzo's favorite segment of the week. It is time for Faces and Heels, where Lonzo and I take a look at some socially ambiguous situations and try to figure out who's the good guy, who is the bad guy. All right, we got a few of them to run through here. I will start with this one. 26-year-old woman is living with a 27-year-old woman. They have been roommates, she says, for a couple of years now. Always had fun, get along super well, and they have a tendency to basically morph their personalities into each other, so it's gone exceptionally well. Well, the roommate has started to date a new guy, and the guy she has been dating now for about 3 months apparently is a recovering alcoholic, has gone to rehab for alcoholism and has been in recovery for a couple of years now. She said, I know getting sober is not easy, and I respect the strength it takes to work through that. But a couple of weeks ago, the roommate announced that she is giving up booze in solidarity with him. She says, that's cool. I respect that. I understand it, but I don't agree. She said right after announcing her newly sober lifestyle, she began starting to tell me that I could not drink nor even keep alcohol in my house that we have lived in together for 2 years because of the boyfriend. So the final straw was last night. My boyfriend came over while she was out with hers. I made us a super nice deal. He brought over a nice bottle of wine. Her and her boyfriend came home early. He goes into her room and she freaks out saying she told me she has banned alcohol from the apartment. I snapped and told her she is ridiculous. This is my apartment, and that when the guy eventually gets sick of her, she'll be drinking again. I told her that I was sick of it and that the apartment is in my name. You can either live with me drinking here or you can move out. She is now not talking to me, and the new boyfriend is trying to get her to move out. I will go with girl in question, Zoe, face or heel. You can go first.
Wow. Well, my question the entire time was whose name was on the lease, but you answered that at the end. So that's who has control of the apartment. Whether you agree with it or not, the person whose name is on the lease, they decide the rules. They decide what goes on in that apartment. Now, should she try to be respectful and understanding of the other person who's trying to recover from being an alcoholic? Absolutely, she could. That doesn't mean that you have to be a good person and be a face. You can be the heel, and I mean, you can be the face and still be a bad person. I don't think she's a good person, but the heel is the person who is telling the person whose name's on the lease that this is my role, because it's not your role.
100%. And not only that, she's not only a face, she's not a bad person for it. Listen, you've been dating this guy a handful of months, and I get it. It's not like long term, but
Although
it's also
the
not
way she
brand new.
handled it was not good. I mean, when he leaves you, you'll be back drinking again.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
it.
she popped. But I would also tell you that if I was at the house having a drink with the lady friend and you came in and told me that I was not allowed to have booze in my own house, yeah, I'm gonna pop too. No. I am. And you used to drink with me in this house. This is a new rule because of a new dude, and I respect why. But if him being around alcohol is the problem, just like he shouldn't go to a bar, he shouldn't come here because it's gonna be here, and I'm gonna drink it because I'm good. Listen, it's similar to if you had the state's greatest, maybe the nation's greatest radio producer who did not drink. If I go to Lonzo's house, I'm not cracking a beer. But if Lonzo comes and does a remote at Hall of Fame Sports Bar and Grill, yeah, I'm going to have one, right? I'm not impacting him. I'm not asking him to do it. I'm not pushing it on him. I'm doing it. This the roommate is absolutely the heel in this one.
I just think if she's looking at the girl, even though she made all these demands, and if the guy makes her better, if she's a better person, she's making better decisions now, maybe you try to honor it a little bit. But in the end, your name's on the lease at your place.
Hey, man, listen.
You'll be responsible if something happens because your name's on the lease.
I see people outside jogging to make themselves fit and in shape all the time. But if they jog across a crosswalk while the light's green, they're getting the horn. You know what I mean? Like, good on you for making yourself better. Don't impact somebody else while you do it.
So if someone beeped at you yesterday, it was Rob.
All right. So let's see. Molly and I have been dating for 2 years. We're both in our 20s. Last weekend, we were hanging out at my parents' place by the pool, and she asked me to get her water. I thought it would be funny to take the hose and spray her. I figured it was fine because her purse and her phone and stuff were inside, so nothing would be irredeemably water damage. So I get the hose. She's laying on her back. I yell, heads up, and spray. It was just the shower spreading, not like the jet. She pops up and asks her the initial shock. I thought she'd find humor in it. Nope. She was upset that she got wet, that her hair was wet, that she was cold. I insisted to her that I thought she'd find it funny. She said I was an idiot, that I was immature, that I was a little boy, and that I was disrespectful. I went inside, got her a towel to dry off. I've tried apologizing. She just rolled her eyes, told me I'm not apologizing because I'm sorry, but because I want out of the doghouse. I'll go first on this one. Playing pranks on people is an art. And the most important part of that art is recognizing whether a person is down to have a prank played on them or not. If you prank me and it's a good prank, I will laugh. I will get you back twice, but I will laugh. No problem. If you don't know that, shut up, Lonzo, no. If you don't know that your girl is going to pop up and find some chuckles in that, then don't do it. It's real simple. The lady friend and I got into this one day because we're growing a garden out back. I've got a pepper bed. It's all hot peppers in my pepper bed. And we were out there watering the bed one day, and she blasted me with a hose, right? Unexpectedly. And it was cold. I'm like, you know what? Haha, you got me. I wasn't paying attention. You got me. Good one.
So which was worse, the jump scare or the actual coldness of the water? Okay.
It was cold. I'm like, all right.
So on a day like today, you'd be upset about that?
No, I'd be living the dream today. I'm like, all right, you got me. That's a good one. Later on down the line, I did the one where she was taking a hot shower. So I filled up a glass with ice water and dumped it over the top of the shower. You know what I mean? Which is a huge shock.
I believe we've all done that. And, if you haven't, try it.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And what she was initially quite upset about it. But then when she got out, she laughed. She's like, all right, you got me back. We're good, right? We know we can prank each other and it's fine. I've also been with women who have zero interest in a prank war. None. They hate it. If you don't know this person's down for a prank, don't do it. The guy's the heel, although not like the worst one. He just made a mistake.
Nah, she's the heel for sure. She overdid it, got too upset, called him a child. Of course, he's a child. If you're doing a prank, it's not an adult thing to do. And wow, I'm going to chastise you verbally, and it's going to make you feel worse about yourself. She's the heel. And if you do a prank to especially a wife or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, you know there's going to be some repercussions. And then hopefully you weigh, okay, is this worth it? And I'm sure he thought it was worth it.
Best case, you get pranked back. Worst case, this. That's pretty much how it goes.
And if she's that temperamental that she ends things because she asked for water and wasn't specific, and that's on her, and it was on her, that's her fault.
All right, here's another one. Young man has a brother who is 3 years older, says he's a great older brother. We're very, very close. But he is making a ton of, like a lot of money. Like he's very, very rich. So they got engaged in 2020. They announced that they are having their wedding this year, towards the end of the year. And he asked me to be a groomsman. And of course, I said yes. He said, then they told me that it is a destination wedding. Says that this destination wedding is multiple states over. It's in a 5-star hotel in an already expensive area. That he has asked me to rent a tuxedo that is going to cost me upwards of $450, and I have to provide my own travel there and back. He said, I have dropped out of the wedding and now RSVP no, because I just cannot afford that. He said total investment to go to and be in this wedding is about $1,000 and some change, and I just do not have it. Face or heel for turning down your own brother's wedding?
I think you're a face. Obviously, you're practical. I know it's your brother's wedding, but if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. And I know you mentioned that the brother is well-to-do and everything. Why isn't the brother taking care of his little bro? Why is he not doing that? If anything, maybe he's the heel. Because if you know members of your family, especially your immediate family, if they're where their financials are usually, and you know whether they can afford that or not. Destination weddings are awesome if you're the person getting married, but for everybody else, unless you can afford to pay for them, it's going to be a struggle for whoever you invite, unless you're a 1%er and everybody there has money.
Why did you look at me funny? Look, the big brother, the brother getting married is the heel, all right? It's just a fact. Listen, you can make your wedding as nice and fancy as you want to. And good on you. It's your day. Go party. Go bananas. But just recognize the more extravagant you make it, the less capable you make people, you give the opportunity for people to be there, right? It's just tough. I was in a wedding a couple of years back for a dear friend of mine who also makes really good money. And he asked me to stand in the wedding. And I was like, yeah, dude, absolutely. It cost me a good amount of money. The tux rental was like $300, right? For a day. It's like, man, are you kidding me? It cost me about $800, $900 to be in this wedding. I did it because I love this guy. He's one of the best people I know. But at the same time, you had better believe I got done and I was like, all right, I'm out of weddings for a little while. If you make an extremely elaborate wedding, people may not want to come at all. But the people who don't have the resources you do can't. And you got to accept that, even if they are close family. All right, let's get another one. 20-year-old woman sitting there minding her own business. I see 2 young teenage boys coming in and sitting across from me. They're holding hands and being all cuddly. Safe to say they are a couple, which makes me happy because they were just being nice and kind to each other. Well, turns out they were a same-sex couple. Another kid comes in, a teenager on a scooter. He sees the 2 boys and in front of me turns around and starts throwing slurs at them. I didn't hesitate and I said in a loud voice something that translates to, you better keep walking unless you want this to turn ugly. The kid grabbed his scooter, looked at me like he was scared, and scootered on the way. However, a man standing next to me told me I should be ashamed of myself for threatening a child. Another one said to the first one, they think they own the world, end quote, and walked away. Face and heel, a 20-year-old woman threatening a 13-year-old child because that 13-year-old child was threatening other 13-year-old children.
All right, what it comes down to, it doesn't matter the circumstances. When you're an adult, you can't do this to some kid you don't know, especially in this day and age. And if there was no physicality going on, yeah, getting picked on, getting called names and stuff, it sucks. It really does. Unfortunately, it's a part of life, and it goes on the longer you live. Even adults do that to each other. But she's the heel because she's an adult, and you can't say anything to a kid like that because, you know, it can be taken the wrong way, and she could have been arrested. Because she threatened, and it could be taken as a threat. You have just threatened a child. Even if it was someone your age, you've threatened someone your age, but you threatened a child, and that's even worse than threatening someone your age.
I will say this. I don't know that I'm down with a verbal threat, but I see a kid straight up bullying another kid like that. I got no problem being the 6'3", 250-pound dude that puts a little fear into him. None at all, right? The world has bigger, badder dudes than you are, and you need to go ahead and learn that now. I would absolutely, for the record, never hit a kid. Never, no matter what. But, I mean, I'm not afraid to intimidate him a little bit. All right?
Well, and there are witnesses there, so that kid goes back and tells his mom or his dad that this adult just threatened him. That lady gets arrested because there are witnesses to saw her threaten the kid.
I mean,
and the way it's worded sound like a threat of violence.
I didn't take it that way. I took it as this kid was
I'm sure
throwing
the
slurs around
lawyers
people.
would have taken it that way for sure.
Do we have time for one more? I think we do, right? I think we do. Where'd it go? I had one more good one. Oh, well, never mind. I lost it. I had one more good one. Here's one for you. You go sit down at your company barbecue. There is an open seat next to the GM. You sit in that seat and proceed to tell him how great of a host you are and how great your show is and how you're planning on winning more awards. That's the right move, right? Not asking for anybody in particular.
Well, I would say said GM already knows that. I mean, if
Fair enough.
You know, that kind of looks...
Hypothetically.
Yeah, that would look like the host was trying to reassure when it's not necessary, when there's hardware to prove that it's already the case.
Fair enough. Texter says, good on that woman for the run-in. Even if she'll end up being the heel, you stop bullying regardless, end quote. Hey, man.
So you stop bullying by threatening. So in essence, you're kind of
I'm sorry,
bullying.
what have you done?
No.
What, in the stories about your bullies, what always ended up happening to them?
Lonzo
punked them.
Here's the thing. She could have went about it a different way. She didn't have to threaten. If she didn't threaten,
What do you do? A reasonable conversation with a 13-year-old kid who's throwing around the F-bomb at other kids?
No, you say, "Hey kid, what's your last name? I'm gonna call your mom and dad and tell them what you're doing."
I promise you, if that kid's dropping F-bombs on other kids, the mom and dad aren't caring about it.
Chances are that kid is being abusive because maybe he's afraid of things going on at home, and if he is, then he's right away going to stop what he's doing and he's going to leave.
He did.
There's a better way to handle it that couldn't result in litigation or arrest, which could have happened with that lady.
I don't know. You're standing up for two other people who were getting their...
Yeah, you're also threatening.
Getting theirs.
That's what it comes down to. You don't need to threaten. Find a better way.
This is why we do this segment, ladies and gentlemen. Take a break. We come back. We wrap this bad boy up. He's Lonzo. I'm Rob. It's the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Appreciate it, Trey. Thank you very much, big dog. I feel like leaders, most people, family, at least you get your mother's story. Yeah, that's it, man. Like, if you're going to do a rich guy wedding, you have to assume that only the rich people are going to be able to show up for it. All right, 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
See all those clouds all day. What do we get out of it? Nothing. No rain. Nothing here. And I bet it's sweltering outside. You have a QC Kinetics in the last break. I got to talk to Mark. I don't know if Jim is actually scheduling things anymore. I don't know if he's doing it because suddenly these lives are showing up in the last break when we requested them not to. So I don't know.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Yeah, because this has happened a couple times.
Last 2 days.
It was last week too.
Was it?
Yeah.
Worst part about this is the itch right up inside your nose that just, oh. And I've never found anything that would actually stop it without putting me to sleep.
I think they probably missed their demo with this ad running on this channel.
Maybe. I think it was an Odyssey commercial, so. Well, I made it till nearly the end of the show before I start to die. You know, it's early, but I got a bunch of stuff unless you don't want me to. I can just go ahead and go Twitter now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now it's time for Twitter's Trending Topics, where I tell Rob what is trending on the internet, and he will tell us what he knows about it, including should I go with this first thing? It's just going to make him absolutely angry, and he's just going to go off for the next, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. Lady Gaga is trending.
So, yesterday, the news came out that Joker 2 is being cast right now. And the front runner to play Harley Quinn is Lady Gaga. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't necessarily have a huge problem with that because the first Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix was so different than every other comic book movie that, I don't really see Lady Gaga as a Harley Quinn, but I don't know that I'd have seen Joaquin Phoenix as a Joker either, and that movie was pretty damn solid, to be honest with you. The problem came with the announcement that Joker 2 is being processed as a musical. Now, I tried to rationalize this in my head. One of my favorite shows of all time was Scrubs. You ever see Scrubs? JD and Turk in the game?
I saw bits and pieces of it. I never watched a lot of episodes.
I adored Scrubs. I still watch Scrubs when it's on. It's a genuinely good show. And they did a musical episode. But the way that they formatted it was there was a patient in the hospital who had brain trauma, and her brain started having her hear everything as song, right? So if they decide to go down the path of Joker and Harley are crazy and they hear everything as song, I mean, maybe they can bail that out. But no. After the raw gore, violence, and genuine spiral into insanity that was the first Joker movie, I don't need a musical version. I don't frankly know that I need a Joker 2, but I damn sure don't need a musical version.
Well, unlike you, I didn't think that Joker movie was that great. The last 15 or 20 minutes, really, really good, but the pacing was just, and it was easy to follow and easy to figure out what was going to happen. Once he got up on the car, it was pretty good. But, until that point, I'm willing to give it a shot, though. I will definitely go see it. At least Lady Gaga's part of it. The singing will be pretty good.
I mean, if you're going to have a musical, having her be a part of it is a good way to go.
Now, Joaquin Phoenix, I don't know if he can sing or not, but, does he really have to? All right, the next thing that's trending is Jimmy Uso.
I am assuming this is connection with the Jeff Hardy incident. So Jeff Hardy got picked up for DUI number 3 in less than 10 years, meaning he is facing some big-time punishments. And obviously, that is the day before, well, I guess technically 2 days before, he and brother Matt
Not anymore.
were scheduled to be in a ladder match alongside Jurassic Express and, gosh, who were the other two in there? Oh, the Bucks, the Young Bucks, for the AEW Tag Team titles. And obviously, that's going to get pulled. Though do we know the replacement?
They've already been pulled. I don't know that there will be a replacement.
Yeah, it may just go the other way with the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express. But obviously,
maybe they'll throw FTR in there. I don't know if that works for the kind of match it is, but you never know.
That could be interesting for them to win a high-flying match by just all flips until it's time to climb the ladder. That being said, a lot of conversation has been kicked up because obviously Jimmy Uso also has multiple DUIs. And Jimmy Uso is currently carrying both tag team title belts for WWE at this point, which a lot of people, because Jimmy, the last time he got hit with a DUI was on Raw like 3 days later.
Yeah.
And it was like nothing happened at all. And so a lot of people are kind of comparing and contrasting how Jimmy's situation has been handled versus Jeff's.
All right. And we got time for one more at least. Little Caesars is trending.
I got nothing.
Oh, you're gonna, because Little Caesars is now the official pizza of the NFL.
I got nothing against Little Caesars. All right, because listen, a $5 hot and ready.
Every once in a while, you just need one.
Every now and then, a $5 hot and ready.
They actually have thin crust now, which I'm willing to try.
I saw that. Every now and then, a $5 hot and ready on the way home. You had a long day at work. You snag that $5 hot and ready. You get home, you bang it out. You take a nap. It's a much better day. But the official pizza of the league. I mean, they did rename the Superdome the Little Caesar Superdome. No, sorry, Caesars. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, that's JB Smooth.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I get it. Like, if I sit down for an NFL game and I'm like, damn, it turns out I'm hungry. I don't want to miss a bunch of time and I don't want to wait 2 hours for delivery. Maybe the hot and ready is the way to go. That's it for us. Jim Rome's got you in the jungle next. Mark Ryan and Diesel up with Offsides after that. Have a great rest of your day. We're back tomorrow to do it all over again on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Later, brother.
QC.
All right, stream, got to cut it live. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.